booktube. Welcome back to my channel, Nat Reads. Today I am going to be doing a video where I take a look at my bookshelf and see how many books I've actually not read. So as a lot of you may have also experienced here on booktube and in the bookstagram, book Twitter, book-ish world, buying books is kind of a big thing. And I don't buy that many new books. Every once in a while I'll do a splurge and I'll go to a bookstore and buy a book or two, but not a lot. First of all, the first reason is that I am a student. I do have a job teaching piano lessons, but I'm in no way in the position to be buying like 10 books a month like you see some of these booktubers doing. And I also do not, well, I can't say that I completely don't support, but I try to stay away from companies like Amazon just because of unethical business practices, as well as not supporting Book Outlet just because of some of the issues that they were having with their book vlogger diversity, I think. I didn't even know about their book vlogger program until all this came up, but it was kind of shitty, so I am not supporting them, at least until we can see that they have done a big change in their company. So all that being said, I do not buy that many books, and that's fine because I have a very nice library in my town. But today I wanted to see how many of the books that I own are not read. So my read shelf was clearly the one that had the most books that I haven't read, so I will show you those. The first one is Wolf by Wolf. I have kind of done a quick summary of this one in my July TBR, so I'm not going to be talking about it at all. The second one on my read shelf was Replica by Lauren Oliver. The next one was given to me by my mom. It is called How Can I Help by Ram Dass and Paul Gorman. The next one is one that I have started but not finished. It is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, Abyss by Troy Denning. And the last one on my read shelf was Tyrant, Shakespeare on Politics by Stephen Greenblatt. So we are going to move on to my white and brown books shelf, which, as you can see, I apparently have a thing for white books. They look very clean and are nicely contrasted with the black books down here. So I don't know why I'm into that, but anyways, so the first one that I have is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Septis. I am sorry, I probably messed up that last name there. The next one is Forensics by Val McDermid. Another Star Wars novelization is The Last Jedi novelization by Jason Fry. This is one that I've also started. I think I got 100 pages in, and then most of the time I got distracted and put it down and never picked it back up. The next one I really should just finish in one go. It is Stalin's Music by Michael Feuchman. Another one that I have is What to Listen For in Music by Aaron Copland. The last one on this shelf right here is Every Note Played by Lisa Genova. Weimar by Norman Lebrecht. The next one I have is Jacob's Ladder by Ludmila Ulitskaya. She is a Russian author. Grand Central Question by Abdu Murray. We have Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke by Anne Blankman. This is the sequel to Prisoner of Night and Fog, which is a YA historical fiction book. Another one is one that I probably will not read page to page. It is more of a guide. It is called The Musician's Way by Gerald Klickstein, and it's actually a really interesting book, but it's not like one that you read through even as a nonfiction book. You just don't go chapter to chapter. And the last one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So on my black books shelf, I have just a few books here. Putin Country, A Journey into the Real Russia by Anne Garrels. The next one I have is John Grisham The Firm. And the last one is The Gates of Europe by Sergei Plokiiy. Sergei Plokiiy. I don't know. So on my rainbow shelf, which is where I put all my books that are not red, white, or black, because apparently I like books that are that color, we first have The Widows of Malabar Hill by Sujata Masi, Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. Next one is another one that is on my July TBR, which is Slay by Brittany Morris. Also in my July TBR, it is 1984 by George Orwell. We have Debussy, A Painter in Sound by Stephen Walsh. Kenneth E. Bailey, Jesus Through Middle Eastern Eyes. Another one I picked up at my library bookstore is Landfalls by Naomi J. Williams. And the last one that I have not read is The Nest by, oh god, I'm gonna mess this up, Cynthia D'Aprix. So, now that I have all of my books here, it's kind of interesting to see what books I have not read and what I apparently avoid. It's kind of interesting to look at that, just to take notes so that I don't buy those books in the future, because I think that for me personally, the whole buying books thing it's something that I know that I don't need and something I know that I don't want, but I kind of feel pressure to do it anyway, just because first of all, I really like books. And second of all, kind of being on watching booktube and now being on booktube, and then also, you know, following a lot of bookstagrammers and being on book Twitter, it's kind of, there's a lot of pressure to have those books in your possession and not just getting them from the library. But I think that for me personally, and obviously everyone can do what they want, this is just my personal belief that living in the 21st century where the world is literally on fire, buying books made out of paper, at least, is not it. I think that it is one way that I personally can reduce my personal waste, and maybe there's a better way to do that. Like, a lot of these books here are actually from my library, and they were pre-owned used books, and I think that if the book is already out there in the world, someone has already bought it, like, you know, there's nothing you can do now to, you know, make it back into a tree except for maybe like composting it, but why would you do that to a book? That seems sad. But I think that maybe that is one way, if you want books, is to get them used. And I don't really know of any platform that really sells used books except for maybe Amazon, or like maybe finding them on eBay. But that's just maybe something that I need to consider, and also being more careful with finding books with authors that I really want to support, because that is how authors make money, is selling their books, whether it's, you know, through ebooks or audiobooks on Audible, or the CDs or the physical copies of the book, and making sure that I'm being careful with my purchases and supporting authors who deserve to have their voices heard. So I think that those are just some things to consider in the more general conversation of book consumerism. This is obviously not a topic that is not talked about in the book community. I think it's actually been talked about a lot, and I wish that I still see mostly people, booktubers and bookstagrammers, buying books and not a lot of library books. And so hopefully we can find more spaces where we can support our local libraries in that kind of aspect of booktube, because that's part of how they survive, is just patronage, is people actually going to the website or to the building and using their services. So that is about it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed my pseudo bookshelf tour, and also just kind of a couple thoughts I have about book consumerism and how I personally want to do better. So if you enjoy this video, please like it, give me a comment on your thoughts, and subscribe to my channel for more book videos. You can also find my social medias, my book Twitter, which I don't use a lot, but I am on there, and also my Bookstagram, where I'm trying to post a little bit more. And just follow me there, and you know, I hope that you come back and give me views. I also wanted to share some stats that I made just for you. So used versus new books were about 50-50, and fiction versus non-fiction books were also about 50-50, and there were way more adult books that I have not read over teen books, but I think that is because there were so many non-fiction books that I haven't read. So those are my stats that I made just for you. Bye!